Hey YouTube. So I promise this won't just be a rant video because I actually want to have like a constructive discussion around this. My views on videos have crashed in the past couple weeks. So what I wanted to do is I just like looked around at other GBL content creators, and there was a couple like Home Slice and Accent that are still doing very well in views, but a lot of them are doing like 65-50% of what they normally do in the space. So then I looked at like the larger Pokemon Go content creators, and their views are down across the board. And then out comes Trainer Tips, who hasn't posted a video in a while, but he was covering an event. And basically, in this very, very short video, he says, not a lot of new. I hate the like I'm tired of the tickets. And then viewers, please fill in like 2025 will be, and then he let the viewers fill it in. And when you go down to the viewer submissions here, it's basically showing exactly where not GBL, Pokemon Go is right now. You had it already. We're starting this year off with a blank. We're starting this year off with a microtransaction. We're starting this year off not with the bang, but with a wormhole. That's a very clever play word. We are starting with a paid research ticket. 2017, this summer will be legendary. 2025, this year will be low effort. And I'm glad we're starting this year with a winter's long nap. Like we're starting this year focused on PCG Pokemon Pocket. This is hilarious, and it is exactly what I have been sort of worried about, and not worried about, but just kind of feeling myself, is that that Pokemon Go is struggling for a couple reasons. And I'm going to talk about those reasons in a second. Let me just kind of close this. I'm going to put it into three categories here. I'm going to put it into the old versus new players, tickets, and the creativeness, I'm going to call it, of what Pokemon Go is doing. So let's just start old versus new. So if you watched my event coverage video yesterday for the holiday event, I was like, this seems like a repeat. Like, it doesn't seem like there's anything really new here. So if you go to the Pokemon event, it's like you got Delibird wearing a holiday ribbon. You get your Stantler wearing a holiday outfit. And I'm like, well, this is stuff that's been around for the last like 3 or 4 holiday seasons now. Like, this is like a 4th time I'm seeing this. So we have a bunch of Pokemon that like have been around multiple times now. Not just like the costume Pokemon, but and now costume Pokemon have been around multiple times now, but so are these other Pokemon, like multiple times an understatement. It's like dozens and dozens and dozens of times we have seen these Pokemon. And so it's a mixture of Niantic, what I think is too much catering to new players, right? It is great if you are a new player and you are a costume collector and you are not around last season for the holiday event, to now get access to these holiday Pokemon with outfits, if that's what you're looking for, right? And you don't have the access before, if you didn't play before, now you have access to it. Great. But for those of us who've been playing for 2, 3, 4, 7, how long has this game been out for? 2016, I think, 8 years. I've been playing since 2018, so I've been playing 6 years. When we see these events, it makes me not want to even open the game to play. There are some events in the past where you go out and grind, like way back in the day. And I think it was just because it was just like new Pokemon or like something exciting. I'll talk about the exciting factor in a minute here, and like the third one. But there were reasons to open the game. There were reasons to go out and grind. And I feel like for older players, that desire to go grind is almost, you need to figure out different strategies for yourself of what you want to make it exciting for you, because the events themselves are not doing it. So I know a lot of people are like, I want to get a hundo of every original 150 Pokemon. I want to finish my shiny decks. I want to do this. I want to do that. Because it's like people need to put the burden on themselves to try and make this game exciting, because the events are, for the most part, not doing anything to entice older players to go out and play. So that's my first sort of criticism here, is that Niantic is spending way too much time focused on newer players, bringing them in, as opposed to keeping players they already have. Now, I guess the argument from Niantic's end is, you've been playing since 2016, 2018. You can leave if you want to, but you haven't yet. So it doesn't really matter what we do. I think you're going to stay around. And I can kind of see that argument, but I've also seen a lot of great content creators just kind of disappear over the last couple of years, because they have just generally just been tired of the game, GBL, and just the Pokemon Go game in general. So I don't think that argument actually does hold any weight, but it is something that it seems to be that's the way it is, right? We're just getting repeat events after repeat events. I always say there's usually two, outside of Go Fest, there's usually two great events, Halloween and Holiday. And both of the Halloween and Holiday events this year were like meh at best. And when your best events are now just like mediocre, and your mediocre events are now just boring that I don't even need to go out and play it, we have a problem here. And so how do you fix this? Because I want to try and offer suggestions in each one. So the problem here is, I personally do not think that releasing one new Pokemon or one new shiny per event is enough to entice people to go out to play. So I think you need to drop like multiple new Pokemon or multiple new shinies per event. And I know they're trying to like just drag this game out for like 20 years. But unless you start putting more Pokemon out in these events that people actually want to go and get, there's no incentive for us to go get them. I'll talk about the innovative factor later, because I was just thinking about Dynamax and stuff. So we'll leave that for now. So that's sort of like one thing I would do. The second thing I honestly would do is, I personally don't think we need weekly events every single time, especially if these weekly events are going to be just limited Pokemon with which we've seen a bunch of times before. So again, history lesson for those of you who are newer to the channel or newer to the game. These weekly events that have been in the game for, I'm going to say a few years now, this was not normal. In fact, we would have one big community day, which were like exciting community days. We're going to talk about that maybe in, I guess we'll talk about it now. There were community days where the Pokemon in the community day Pokemon got like three things at once. They were new shinies, they were PvP relevant, and they were raid relevant. So you got like your like Swampert with Hydro Cannon, you got your like Rock Wrecker Rhyperiors. Like these were community days that you wanted to go out and grind, because it was the trifecta. It was like new shiny, super meta GBL PvP relevant Pokemon, one of the top raid attackers, all in one. And the last like 5 or 6 community Pokemon have been like, I've gone out for all of 20 minutes because these Pokemon have been out for like a ton now. I already have shinies for a lot of these community Pokemon. I already have like IV Pokemon I wanted that I could just like go out, catch like 20 Pokemon and just like evolve everything I have already. And some of them aren't even, none of them have hit the trifecta recently of being all 3 relevant. So I think they need to like incentivize us by putting out Pokemon that are like exciting, like give us a reason to go out, sort of thing. So I would like to see something like that. And also, I don't think you need these weekly events, because like if you're gonna give me a weekly event where maybe these costume ones are a little specific because people are looking for a holiday costume one, But if you're giving me weekly events that are just like 9 Pokemon I've already seen and then like maybe one new one or like maybe one new shiny, that doesn't entice me to go out and get it. So like I would love to see the state of the game where we can just have like, give me a month of just like every Pokemon in the wild. Don't give me an event. Don't give me weekly events. Just give me like 1 month of, we are going to drop every Pokemon in the game. Not everyone, like keep your legendaries or whatever out. But we're going to drop every wild Pokemon in the game into the wild. Go find them. Like that would be so fun. That would give people a reason to actually like go out and try and find these things, as opposed to like, oh look, here are like 9 Pokemon that you've seen 15 times and none of them really have the trifecta because we've seen all of them like so many times before. Like this list does not entice me to go and get it. So I think that's the big thing. Like give us a reason to go out. So that's the first one. One thing that Trainer Tips even said is, I'm tired of these tickets. And if you watch my event coverage, I always go like, okay, here's the wild spawns, here's the raids, here's the eggs, and give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money. And it's essentially, right, paid research. For $2 you get this. Go to the web store, you can get this. We're gonna have we're gonna have live testing a new Pokemon web store program. We're gonna have a hidden behind eggs event. We're gonna have the monthly pass. I don't know where it is. Double your Poke Coins on Black Friday. We're gonna have like the monthly pass, daily Poke Coins bounty part 3 is here, or whatever. Like it just, every single event is behind a ticket. Every single event comes with an add-on. Even so, now you have like, before the tickets were community ticket. There's like literally one ticket a month, a community ticket, where you get like bonuses. You get that bonus research, and that bonus research usually was really, really worth it. But now instead of having one ticket a month, you have minimum one ticket a week. Sometimes there's 2 events that overlap, so 1 to 2 tickets a week. The monthly ticket that they're looking for, the seasonal tickets that they have, the community tickets, and then like these other store coupons and tickets that they're adding on here. So they're like 6 or 7 tickets per month. And so suddenly what could become justified is like, okay, I can spend $1 to $2 for a community ticket to get these like cool things, are now like, am I going to spend $15 to $20 plus a month, maybe even more depending on like some of these events, to get what seems to be less and less value each time? And so again, I know people are like, you're a free to play player, like whatever, like agreed, but still from like a perspective of, don't hide stuff that used to be free now behind money. And I like, that's like relationships 101. You don't take stuff away, because then the community gets mad. Like, how many times has Niantic done this now? Let's give them cheap remote raid pass. Nope, we're taking that away. Let's give them increased raid distance. Nope, we're going to take that away until Backlash. Let's give them like a few other things that I can't blanking off the top of my head, but like, let's give them a few other things. Nope, we're going to take that away immediately. And the same thing is like, nope, we're going to hide this event. You want to you want half distance thing? Pay for it. It's like, no, that like this stuff used to be free. What are you doing? You can't just keep taking money from us. But I guess they can, right? Because people keep buying, and this again, it's a business. And if there's supply and demand, I'm a friggin' economist, right? So if there's supply and demand, and people are paying for the tickets, they can keep doing it. But it really does leave a bad taste in your mouth when it's just like, I'm going to monetize the crap out of every aspect of this game, because then it becomes way less fun. So I wish they just did not monetize every aspect of this game. And this goes back to like the don't have weekly events, just have like a monthly event. Maybe just do like the monthly ticket. I don't want to have to pay for something every week that used to be free. And then the innovation. And I've talked about a lot about this from the GBL perspective, about Niantic's just absolute zero thought into these leagues. And I'm starting to see it with their larger events outside of GBL. So what was my GBL issue? Well, my GBL issue is that they don't think about new cups. They rinse and repeat. They don't even get creative. They put same cups on multiple weeks in a row. They don't actually look at the rankings to see the problems. So let's just go. The first 3 weeks are a prime example of people are already taking 2 of these 3 weeks off. If you watched my videos multiple times, I said outside of Great League, things don't get views. So you need Great League or below options. So first week, Great League, I'm like, okay, we'll have a second option of a Fantasy Cup Great League. So this is only a 3 typing meta, which means if you have a 3 typing meta, there's only 10 Pokemon that are relevant. Second week already. So now we have an Ultra League people do not want to play. And now we have a second week of a cup that already has a limited meta. So now we have a league that no one wants to play and a cup that only has 10 Pokemon that is now on its second week and already stale. And then the third week is a Master League, which not a lot of people play at all, followed by a little cup, which has a Smeargle 14 points ranked higher than the second Pokemon because it is such a broken XL moveset Pokemon that it will absolutely dominate the cup. So people do not want to play this cup. So you and your lack of thinking has just cost people 2 out of 3 weeks. I'm not even going to talk about all the game bugs, which are still so prevalent here. Your lack of innovation has cost you 2 out of 3 weeks here. And it has a lot of this throughout the thing. Like, oh, look, we're going to put on the same holiday cup again. Oh, look, Ultra League and Master League, we're going to put on the same Great League back to back so that by the time we get to Master League, people are already going to be sick of the color cup because we just had it the week before. It's just like, you have, like, think of a new cup. You have so many options here. Work with the community. There are different people in the community putting on different types of leagues and events. They can help you come up with new leagues. Like, this is lazy. I have something in my database. I am not going to put any effort in. I'm going to repeat it 2 weeks in a row because I can't even bother to try and think of something new. And it's starting to relate to the outside here. And it's not just like these limited, it is part of like these events, right? So in that video, Trainer Tips was talking like about this, where it's just like, oh, look at this event. Jigglypuff wearing a ribbon. Hoot Hoot wearing a New Year's hat. Old. Wurmple, you're wearing a party hat. Old. That's it. We're gonna do. Look at this great event. It's only a 1 day event, so I won't. 2 day event. 2 day event. Actually, 2.5. Two. Yeah, almost 3 days because it's the end of the day. So it's 3 day event. Same Pokemon that we've seen year over year. Again, we're not gonna get innovative. We're gonna recycle the same Hoot Hoot for the 4th year in a row. And can't wait to monetize it. Can't wait to monetize it behind paid research. Go to the web store. Get this stuff for your Ultra Holiday box. Like, it's just like Niantic is not putting in any effort anymore. And the Gigantamax, I'm having a huge problem with. So it feels like Dynamax and Gigantamax were put into the game solely because they're in the main series games. And it just feels like no thought process was put into how these would work. You need 40 trainers to defeat this thing. There's some communities that don't even have 40 people in the whole friggin' city that play the game. And people are not going to be able to remote raid into this. So, you have 40 people in a city that won't play. That's really going to limit those people's ability. And then it's like an isolated thing. Oh, you want to do this Gigantamax? You need to get the Dynamax. So we're going to keep this completely siloed. part of the game where it's just like, okay, well, if I can't get the trainers to do this, or I don't have the time to go out when there is an event, I guess I'm not just doing this. But in the end, does it matter a ton? Because these are all repetitive Pokemon that are just played in a silo anyways. So I don't need to go out there. So it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like they are on, it feels like they're on autopilot. And the fact that like Tour, or what's the one that's on now, this year, it seems like the tours are already showing that they are not thinking. Because this one's in LA again. It is the Unova tour this time. Again, it's just a way to get money. Can bring the community together, okay. But again, it's in LA for the second time in a row, after having New York Go Fest 2 times in a row. And if the Unova tour is on the West Coast, that means that Go Fest is going to be on the East Coast, which means, again, unless they're going to do it down in Florida in the summer, or they're going to come up to Canada, they're just going to do New York again, aren't they? Like, I'm truly worried that they're just going to do New York for a 3rd time in a row. And it's just like, it just seems like, it's like they're planning their entire year by looking at the playbook of the previous year. It's just like, they're truly just like going back to the playbook, slapping a new date on it, and using that moving forward. And that's what it feels like. It feels like there's no innovation. It feels like they are taking the least amount of effort it can take to keep this game going so that they can still get the money to come in. That's what it feels like to me as a player who's been here for like 6 years now. 6 years now, yeah. Anyways, I think I offered some solutions, but there was a lot of ranting. But again, yeah, like just seeing, I'm glad it's not me. Like just the comments on the training tips video made me comfortable to make this video, because I was like, yes, I'm not alone in this. I can see it in the views. I can see it in the comments. I'm not alone in this. I have not played GBL I'll play today because I need little cup teams for tomorrow, but I haven't played GBL in 6 days. I haven't grinded an event for months, because there's been nothing that has enticed me to grind for months now. And I think a lot of people are sort of in that same boat. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts below. Sorry for the sort of rant video. But yeah, we'll do some Little Cup teams, and then I don't know. So please send me some Little Cup teams, because I guess we got to do that a bunch. And then in the new year, I'll do a wrap up. I always like to do those wrap up, even though people can watch it or whatnot. It's like a wrap up of the year. And I'm definitely I've got some thoughts about the new year, about what I'm going to do with this channel. I've got some thoughts about how to make it a little more interesting, and then also to cut back at the same time. Maybe do both. We'll see. Stay tuned, end of the year for that. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.